Welcome to DinsTalk, the space where soul wisdom meets bold action. I'm Mia Dins, your host, here to ignite your fire, help you claim your power, and guide you to take unstoppable steps towards your dream. Every episode is designed to awaken your purpose, fuel your passion, and spark transformation in your life. It's time to step into your truth and never stop. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another episode of DinsTalk. I'm so happy you're here. And today I have my very first guest, Alina. I'm so excited. She is someone I met in a community we joined together. And it's always beautiful to connect with like-minded people. And we just hit it off and thought we're going to chat about some amazing stuff like money. Money is a topic that everyone is kind of interested in, I suppose. And also her beautiful journey and how she uses this amazing tool of light language to improve the relationship with money and changes the frequency. But enough said about that. I let her introduce herself and then we just have a beautiful chat from there.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Alina. You can also find me on Instagram at Spiritual Spark Guidance. I chose this name because I do believe that everything I want to do and my mission here is to actually help people connect back to their soul, to their essence. And I think that is like more spiritual and guidance to connect back to your soul. So I don't even know why I said that, but it just came. So I'll just let it go. I am a 7D manifesting spiritual energy coach. So my main mission here is to help you shift your energy and heal your relationship with your past, money, and everything that hurt you, and put you on a completely new path where everything that was in the past stays in the past and you're ready to say a new story about yourself and your new life.
Beautiful. I love that. I absolutely love that. And it is something that comes more and more to the surface. And as I'm, an intuitive soul guide, myself working in that way, it's always about the main thing is to come back to the essence and knowing that we have all the wisdom within us. And but it's first seeing the stories about what we carry with us, right? We have to see them first in order to rewrite them. We can't just bypass them and ignore them like some people try to do. So why don't we start with your journey, with what made you come to Australia? Because originally, as we know, well, I do know, you're not from there. Talk a bit about that, and then maybe we flow into your personal journey with money.
I think everyone can hear my accent that I'm not from Australia.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, it was a very interesting journey. So I was born in Romania and I grew up there, and I was there until I was 21. And through my childhood, I guess, I was always taught by my mom that if you really want something and you put your minds to it and you keep repeating that that's going to happen the way you want it to happen, it's always going to happen your way. And I only use this for exams, school exams. So I will obviously learn before exams, learn whatever I need to learn, but there were obviously going to be chapters or parts that I didn't know perfectly. So my mom told me to always say in my mind that what's going to come up in the exam, the questions are related to subject A, B, and C, whatever I knew best. And it always happened like that. Maybe that's why I had good grades. But anyway, that's another story for another time. And then, I don't know, time has passed. I went to uni and everything. And all of a sudden, honestly, I don't even know how I ended up coming to Australia. I had a teacher in uni who was saying something that we should look for opportunities outside Romania. And one Sunday I was a bit bored and was raining outside. I will never forget. And I started applying for universities around the world. But that was like in February 2011. Anyway, time goes, and then July I finished my bachelor, and then I was about to apply for a master in Romania, and all of a sudden at 4 p.m. on a Friday, I think it was, I got a phone call from a country started +61, which I had no idea back then it was Australia. Anyway, I got approved to a master here, which I completely forgot I even applied for. So I was like, well, when a train just pops into a station that was not supposed to be there, you better just hop in because you don't know if it comes up again. So I just hopped into the train and here I am. I don't even know how many years later now, 15, 14, 2011, 14 years 14 years later, I'm here. This is my home now, and I think I need to be grateful for everything, because when I landed in this country, I don't know if I had more than 20 Australian dollars in my bank account, but I knew I had the master to pay. I knew I want to live here, and I just didn't give up until I made it, more or less. So yeah, and it wasn't, and this is how I came across manifestation as well. But this is the thing: when I first started all this journey, I had no idea. The only thing I did know since I was a kid is that if I put something into my head and I stick to it, it's gonna happen. That's all I knew back then.
Mm, beautiful. That's amazing. And one of the courageous souls here to jump into the unknown, take the leap of faith and just going for it. Similar to my story. So with the mind thing, it's beautiful. You know, it's something you took on from your mother. And I remember my father did something similar. He always said, like, if you believe you can do it, you can do it, you know, and that was more related to sports, because I, you know, do sports since a very young age. And he always told me that. And it's something I took over. But for me, I don't know if that relates to you too. There was a time when I realized it was a lot about the mind. It was coming from the mind rather than the frequency. I didn't know that there's subconsciously oftentimes something else going on. Consciously, absolutely, I could choose something and you make it happen, but it goes only so and so far. You will deplete yourself. It's kind of manufactured, a little bit controlled manifestation. That's how I experienced it. And then I realized my journey where I realized, okay, there's something deeper. There's something more going on there, because I hit like the same cycles all the time, especially with money, right? And I was like, okay, there's something, it doesn't work that way. And to be really honest, I tried, and you possibly did too, so many different things, read books, workshops, money setting, and setting a certain goal. It never worked that way for me. That's not the way how I manifest. I just go rather with vibration and feeling and forget about it, you know, like you did. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think so at the beginning, it was manufactured manifestation, because I did like everyone was taught to do. Yeah, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and marry and buy a house and whatever. That's your life, no? That's what we've been taught, or at least that's what I've been taught. But then, so I did created all this, and even when I got my permanent residency, to be honest, that was a manufactured manifestation for me as well, because I did not know back then all the wounds, all the trauma, all the things that can cause other things back, and how you can not see some things and start judging people and put all these labels on and all these kind of things, which I'm not going to deny. I was very good at putting labels on people. I'm not very, I'm not ashamed of it. I'll just recognize it. And even now, sometimes I catch myself looking at someone and be like, and then I'm like, no, hold on a second. I should not be doing that. But that took a lot of work, because of course we've been taught different. But yes, there is so much more deeper than just manufactured manifestation, that you just do what you've been told by society, where you push, you work hard, you get a paid job, which is very good. And what do? You spend 10 hours a day there, and if you're lucky, 2 hours at home with your loved ones and the family, and the rest you're sleeping because you're too exhausted. Nah, that's not the way God, source, whatever resonates with the audience, brought us here to earth. God, source, universe, whatever resonates, put us to earth to expand, to grow, to learn, to have things easy. But when we learn to tap into our intuition, when we learn to use our powers, which I'm not going to say we're all God, because I don't know if I fully 100% agree with that, but we all have the same powers as God has. We have the power to create our own reality. We just need to acknowledge it. And which I think is the hardest for people, is to also acknowledge that when something goes bad, not to say another bad word, in their life, they're also responsible for that. Because whatever we've created, the lack of money in the bank account, the shit relationship, the idiot who's in front of you when you're trying to drive to work and you complain that he's a bad driver, you've created that from the inside out. And if we don't learn how to accept that and how to take responsibility for that, unfortunately, we're going to rewrite the same story over and over again. And please tell me I speak too much.
No, it's beautiful. You're here. We want to hear from you because they hear all the time from me. So it's totally fine. And I love the flow. And it's totally, I agree. That was a game changer, a complete life-changing thing to do when you start to acknowledge, okay, not just the good stuff or the stuff you really want in life, but also acknowledging everything. We are 24/7 manifestors, to actually realize that. And then being okay, accepting that first, to see it, then accept it, to be like, okay, I actually, that's me, that's my frequency that I'm vibrating on right here, right now. And then you, from that point, because if you don't accept it, we can't change it. And if you don't see it, right? And then you can say, okay, do I actually want that? No, I don't. And knowing that is so empowering, because you know you are in the driver's seat and you can change it. You can change your response. You can do things, to upgrade your energy, or to feel better, or choose different environments, different people. And from there, this change starts. And of course, it's not an overnight process. Also depends on the individual, right? How many layers they have to shift through. Obviously, we get pulled back into our old self, get tested, and so all these kind of beautiful things that is called life.
I like to think about it like an onion. You know how onion has those thick layers and it had the thin layers? It's like
Yeah.
that. You do the big one and you think you're done, and then there's a little one and you're like, oh shit, I didn't really realize this is as well. So yeah, it's a lot deeper.
Yes, it's a lot deeper. And with the money relationship, so what do you think is your biggest block right now? Are you keen to share?
I don't have any blocks. The only block that I have created myself was my energy and scarcity and anxiety, I would say, around money. So I did learn that if you, how do I say this so it doesn't sound wrong? You don't, none of us, most of us don't actually have a block. We just think we have it, and then automatically what we think becomes true.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
it's usually your energy and your anxiety when you talk about money, when you deal with money, when you see money. I in the last month or so, I have done some magic. I am gonna call them magic shifts around money, and I have money, not large amounts, but 100 here, 100 here, $35 here, 500 here, coming out of everywhere at the moment. I don't even know from where. I don't even know how I shifted myself so badly. But there's something in the energy, and it's the energy, the way you think, and the way you allow your emotions. So you know how everyone says that it's the way you feel, it's actually what's gonna help you manifest, because you need to feel like you already have the money, like you already have the house, love, whatever it is. It's that connection of telling your mind that I'll give you just an example because it's easier than just hypothetically. So for example, I'll be like, mind, I want you to please show me how good it is to have my bank account overflowing. And then I just sit for a minute and I take a deep breath and I imagine something, either my bank account being full or me on a holiday or something that relates to money overflowing to me. And then I take another deep breath in when I feel like my body is filled up with energy. And then I'm like, emotions, fill up my body with all that energy that you have in that moment, full of overflow. Then I take another deep breath. And then I go, little girl, so please download that truth into my body, emotions, and mind right here, right now, and calibrate that energy and frequency. And then I take another deep breath. And I don't know if you've been doing this in the same time with me, but there's a lot of energy shifting.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you do this repeatedly for something, you will eventually get into that feeling that you actually already have it. And then somehow magic just happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's our power. We just need to learn how to use it.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that, and because I more and more, like emphasize, also in my messaging, that everything is already within us. That we always need to tune in first, and work with ourselves. We are so powerful beings, like we can just tune in. We have our own wisdom, our own everything. There's a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, and we just get guided to it, and we each have our own unique way, and this may work for some beautifully and others need to use different words or maybe journal,
100%.
whatever. Yeah,
100%. Plus, when I started with affirmations. I started with concepts. I started with completely other things. But you evolve, and the more you evolve, those things are like, okay, well, this doesn't really switch me on anymore. And then you find something else. And this is how we keep evolving. And probably in 6 months or even in a month, I'm probably going to have a completely other way to manifest things, because there will be something else that will come to me. So, and all of us are the same. It's just practicing and seeing what not only just works for you, what resonates with you as well, because we're all light beings, star seeds, whatever resonates with people, and we all come from different places, and we all have different codes, different past lifetimes that we spend in different areas. So we all have different missions here and different talents, different qualities. We all have something, but it's a matter of discovering that, and just knowing that if I want to do this example that I just gave you, and somebody just wants to sit upside down in their head for 30 minutes and that works for them, that's absolutely fine. Like, I don't like the example, but some people, I have a friend who likes to put himself on a think like this with his head down for like 10 minutes every morning. Oh, and apparently helps him meditate. Okay. Who am I to judge? It works for him.
Yeah, I love that. And that's true. And I always say that when I give examples, I always say that works for me and that helped me. And then just to spark something up within others, to help them to think, hey, actually, this makes me feel good, whatever. There's no right or wrong. There is no blueprint that, like as a general one. These are just activations that can help others to tune in and be like, hey, that actually worked. I like that part. Pick your own spices and then cook your meal or your own soup. That's what I always like say, pick the spices from everywhere. And talking about your personal gift, that's what we are really interested in, about light language. So maybe you could tell us a bit about, because my audience probably doesn't know much about it. I know it's more and more in common that people talk about it. So how did you discover it? What is your meaning? What is your personal meaning for light language? How would you describe it in a couple of sentences? And just tell us a bit about that, the magic within you.
All right. So first, it is a magic within me, but we all have this magic within ourselves. It's just a matter of discovering. So I came across light language first in one of Regan Hillier's free meditations. I think it was on YouTube actually. And I remember I was sitting in that meditation and I heard her saying, I don't know exactly how she was saying it because we all have our own dialect, but I remember heard her. What language is she talking? And then I started Googling it. And then somewhere on Google, I found out she was using light language. And I started Googling light language. And then I found an Australian lady who does activations in light language. So I was all over her to learn everything. So I did 2 courses with her and I got activated in light language. Well, I got activated beginning light language, but then she taught me a couple of things that I can do with light language as well. And I just love it. So light language is like the language of the soul, if you want. So it's not something you can understand what's going on or what is being said.
Spirit is working, the light changes.
Yes, it is. I noticed that. I can't fix it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You roll with it.
It's the language of your soul. So it's something that you don't need to understand what you're saying when you're saying something. You just need to trust. And it just comes out like, I don't know, it just comes out. So it's just something that once you get activated, you can't. Everyone experiences differently, to be honest. For me, it's more words, and I don't move my hands or legs too much. Some people move a lot their hands and legs and have less words. Some people like to sing. Some people say it very fast. I do a bit of all three. It really depends what my intention is. I haven't really figured out yet which intention is for what. I'm still working on that.
Mm.
Yes, like language is the language of the soul, which more or less puts you back into alignment with your natural state, which is abundance, which is happiness, which is wealth, which is being the creator, more or less, because we are all creators, and we all create all the time. So it puts you back into your natural state and makes you forget about all this distractions from the society.
Yeah, and distractions as well, because soul distractions, both words are correct. I love that that we all have our own unique language, and the coolest part is, or like probably also the biggest hurdle maybe or block for people to, is that it's not from the logical mind, like with grammar, or when you learn like a new language. We both have English as our second language.
Yep.
Like, it's like I would listen to Chinese people talking on the street. For me, it sounds like Kauderwelsch. For me, it sounds like, something. And I'm like, but we know. Yep. But when I remember years ago, probably 10 years ago, when I first heard light language, I was like, what is that? My mind was completely like, that's weird. What is she doing there with her hands? And then when you just go beyond the mind and you just feel into it, it just starts to feel really beautiful. And I felt connected, and I, got goosebumps and stuff. And I had a couple of my own light language downloads coming through. I just haven't really fully endeavored it. But I feel like before we connected, even, that it's something I am going to be, it's another path for me to just integrate it more, not like to just use it and tune in and listen. So although I have used it telepathically, not with sounds, but telepathy, that was my light language. That's naturally what I do all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so light language is also beautiful. Once you start developing it, you'll see that it's also beautiful. And even if it's not proven medically or scientifically, I do believe that it has a lot of healing powers as well. And I'm not going to give examples now because I know a couple of examples, but again, they're not scientifically proven, so I'm not going to say something that can get us in trouble. But once you listen to it, and even if you have a headache on small little things, it literally makes your, I don't know how to say, when you when you're very cold and you get that warm cup of chocolate, hot chocolate or something, it just makes you so warm in your soul and your heart because it's just so cozy. It's something like that.
Yes, absolutely. Feel free to talk about anything, but I can give my own testimony here from our last recording, actually, because we recorded a podcast, and I can just share that openly here. I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and then we realized I was doing some screen recording and I didn't have my microphone turned on. So I had a beautiful, beautiful talk with Alina here. And then we also got this taster of light language. You did the intention of around money, of course, and with the anxiety that people have around money. And it was beautifully aligned with what was coming for me personally, because I got into a situation again where I usually would feel a lot of anxiety, not having the money, not knowing when can I buy food, and where to live and all that stuff, because I am having this nomadic lifestyle right now, guys, as you know. However, it was very interesting, although I could definitely feel right away I was feeling calm in general, and I was feeling activated. And the thing is, though, I had all the reasons to freak out. And of course, I use all my other tools as well, right? That really amplifies that. But I was so relaxed. I was so relaxed in that moment because I was just trusting. I was just knowing that it's gonna work out, and that I already am having it all, like what just we spoke before, being in this frequency, embodying it already, even though you may not see it on the external, because the external has nothing to do with what is going on inside of you. So really, really important. And it changed everything, and then boom, it just came out of nowhere, right? Totally unexpected, not me controlling it. And that was beautiful. So for me, I felt an extreme shift in my energetic field. I felt the safety, exactly what you were just saying, like the warmth, the safety was just beautiful. Even now when I talk about it, I get goosebumps. So there was definitely a big shift. And yes, even listening to the light language, I have a personal recording from a light language like healer as well, from my own unique energetic. And every time I listen to that, it's so beautiful. It wraps me into some love. It just makes me feel safe. I feel home. That's it. I feel home, because it's our language, and our soul is just like, I feel home. And that changes everything, because no matter what your challenges are in life, but when you feel home, when you feel safe and you feel loved, like, this is the energy you radiate, and everything else will just come. You will just be a magnet for whatever.
And that's when you glow, and your energy literally makes people blind, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Not officially blind, like blind, but that energy that you radiate, a lot of people are not going to be able to look at you, and they're going to find you disturbing for whatever reason, because they are on the lower frequency. And that's when your light makes them blind, more or less. Anyway,
Yes.
Everyone knows what I mean. I didn't express myself right, but doesn't matter.
Now you beautifully said. That's exactly
Before
it.
I feel like today it has to be a light language activation for opening your heart for unlimited possibilities, because I think a lot of people tend to forget that we are capable of doing things that are illogical, and not just because it's put on the black and white paper, it means it has to be like that. I'm pretty sure if we look into, I don't know, even Tony Robbins comes to mind now. He came from nothing and he became a millionaire. And even Brigham Hillier and a lot of other people in our industry, and even non-industries, whatever they achieved, it makes no logical sense, right? Well,
Yes.
that's because they believed. So once you open to the field of unlimited possibilities, that's when you can allow miracles to happen. If you sit all the time in front of a piece of paper and you're thinking, how am I going to make those expenses, or whatever, because it doesn't make any logical sense, and you're trying to find the logical, then that logic is going to stick with you, and miracles are not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's very hard to get out of your head. It is very hard, especially for me, who I love math. I'm very good at math and Excel spreadsheets. It's very hard. But once you learn it, to give it up and just trust me, it can be crazy. Amazing, crazy, good, crazy.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to say before I do the activation. I think I knew this a while ago, but I was ignoring it, to be honest. The society and the world around us is very good at making us distracted. And one of the couple of the big distractions that distracted from what we can actually do with our own powers. Because if you look around us, nothing that I don't like to watch Netflix from time to time, but sitting down and watching Netflix and have a glass of wine in the evening, or taking any recreational drugs, or going always out with your friends for drinks in the weekend. And for everyone who's listening to this, I love my wine and I do like my alcoholic beverages. Don't get me wrong. But I did notice what a difference can make if I literally take that out of my life and keep it literally for special occasion, or almost not at all. And trust me, I love my wine. So for me to get to the point where noticing that difference of not spending that much time with people who only like to go out and have fun and not see anything within them. And doing all those things, always watching TV, always watching the news, always watching all those things, do make a big difference in your life. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to do none of them, because you still have to do some, because you still live in a society and you have to socialize. You're not live in a forest. I mean, if you do that, good for you. Some of us don't. But it's very important to try and see what difference that will make in your life. Because I do believe all those things are made the society expectation. Yeah, you go out after work with your colleagues for a drink, 1, 2, 3, and then the night is over and you go home, you're tired, next day you hangover, or you have other things to do and you never have time for yourself. Now, I'm not saying you have to meditate, but even go for a walk in the nature. I want the audience to keep this in mind, because it took me a while to actually, I knew it, but I didn't want to acknowledge it, I think.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I can totally agree with that. And this is something for all you guys, you need to, we all are different, right? And for example, I can only tell from my own experience, I'm very sensitive with my energetic field, and I need to do, I cut out a lot of things in order to be a clear vessel. That's just what I had to do. And for example, alcohol was one of them, but also that aligned with obviously being an athlete and when I, competing in boxing, it just doesn't align. So that was beautiful synchronicity for me anyways. And by doing that, and also having, like really my regime and having good food, like really fueling this vessel, whatever that means to you and for you, whatever your body needs. It's different for everybody, but really taking care of it like a mother is taking care of a child, like really honoring that. This is a game changer, because that makes you a clear vessel. You will just be able to receive all the things that are around you, and also receiving the guidance much clearer. Because if you have low density stuff, like let's say drugs, alcohol and stuff, in your system, you're full of shit. Sorry, I have to say it, you're full of shit. And when you have that, you can't receive the clear guidance. That's my own personal opinion. And then you have all the energy you need to clear this vessel to become clear and receptive to things. Because if we're full of stuff, it's like a pipe. If it's full and blocked, then no water can flow free and easily, or maybe trip feet. Yeah, that's
I just love the way you explain it.
It's just my own experience. But of course, everybody's different. Some people can handle alcohol or a glass of wine, like from an empowered place. Enjoy it. Of course, please, a beautiful wine, enjoy it. My body is not able to metabolize it well. That's just, and that's why I decide I don't want it. I don't need it, Yeah.
Yes, we're all the same. So, and to be honest, in 6 months, maybe you'll hear that I've never drank wine again or any type of alcoholic beverage. Everyone is in a different parts of journey, but I wanted to say this is because people need to acknowledge that this is actually another distraction that's being created, so we don't step in our own powers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, totally agree with that. Wow. I am so looking forward now. A beautiful intention just before we with the opening up and the heart and compassion and allowing the infinite possibilities. It's so beautiful, because the heart centers, like so powerful, and we are infinite multidimensional beings. But it's also beautifully aligned with this current new moon. We are actually having a new moon in Pisces right now, and all the energy shifts, and it's a very important message to allow, to receive, and to stay open. And so I'm excited, and I hope you guys too. And let's Alina, let her work her magic and just enjoy, embrace. And guys, you can even cut the snippet out and listen to it over and over again, and let us know how it feels and give us feedback. We're always keen to know, especially Alina, right? If anything changes for you when you do it, or what you have experienced, and yeah, just share away. Anyways,
I'm not keen to just know. I want to know all the details.
Yes, here you go. That's it.
All right. So, I would like all of you to sit down or lie down in a comfortable place where ideally you're not going to be interrupted for the next 5 minutes or so. And I want you to close down your beautiful eyes and take a deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath in and out. And now I want you to imagine a set of beautiful 10 stairs that show up in front of you, and they go up and up and up. And I want you to start taking one step at a time, slowly. And now you are taking step 2 and step 3 and step 4 and step 5. Please continue breathing nice and slowly. Take step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9. And now that you got to step 10, you see a beautiful purple door right in front of you. And when you open this beautiful door, you are amazed at the beautiful green grass, trees, nature that you see around you. And you walk into the fresh grass with no shoes on, and you can feel the grass being wet, the water nourishing your feet, and you feel everything being so natural. So it feels like you're being home, a home that you remember somehow with your subconscious, but you don't know from where. And now I want you to keep walking, and then you notice that there is a hill in front of you, and you start going up the hill through the fresh grass that is nourishing your beautiful feet. And you keep walking and walking. And when you get to the top of the cliff, you actually sit yourself down and you look around you. And while you look around you right here, right now, into an 360 degree around you, you can see all those versions of you that are available right here, right now. The version of you that already has everything that he or she desires. The version of you who took different steps in their past and end up in a different reality. The version of you who has that beautiful partner, the version of you that has that beautiful child, the version of you who is already famous for their qualities and skills, the version of you who shares the beautiful gifts with everyone around the world. All the versions of you that you can potentially imagine in your head are available within your eyesight at the 360 degrees around you. All you need to do is turn your head around and choose where you want to look. And now I want you to set your eyes on that version of you that you actually desire to be, and that version of you that has all the dreams that you've been thinking of for a while. And once you set your eyes on that version of you, whatever degree angle that is from where you are now, I want you to close down your eyes and take another deep breath in and just follow my voice. Sakaya nasia kaya si kuya saya tayamata kuya kaya kai sinata sikusia tuya sia kaya kasi tuya kaya kuya takaya sia sikusina tuya ka kaya tusinumata sikusina kai sikusia ka sikuya tuyanuta nikatu sinuyatu sikatu sinumata kiyatu kuyanuya kisina kusiata kiyatu kuyanuya kayana kuyata kisia kaituya kaya lahianwana kala nusinumata sikaisituyasi kuya kakaituya situya tuyimata kunatu kusiata disitu sinumata kayata kuyasina kusiku kusiata kayatu kuyanuya kuyanu tusiata kuyatu kuyatuya kayatu niyamatu situya situsina sakaya kayata kiyatu kuyasika kuyatu tuyanuya tuyana kuyasita kusina tuyanuta kiyata kuyatina kaya kusi kuyasi kusaya kaita kuya kakuituya tusina kusiata kuyatu kuyanuya sikaya huyasi sikuyata yuatu sakusi tuisia kiyatu tuyanuya kuyasi kuyasita kaitu tuyanuya tu sitasi tu mata tu kuyatu siata kuyatu tuyamatu sikatu tuyasita kuyaka kuyanuya tuyatu tuyasika tayala kuyasia ayanui nuyana ikatai tuyana kasanu tusiata kalatui tuyata tayala kuyasia tu sinakusiata tu kaya kuya tu nata tuya simata sinuina sikuyasi kaya tu sinuyata kaya tu kuyanuya tuyanu tusiatu tu saya kaituya tuyanu tuyatusi tu kaituyamuna kiyatu sinumatu taitu kuyanuya kaitu kuyasita kisatu kuyasinu tuyasituyanuya kuyata tuyasitu kisatu kuyasina kayatu kuyasitu kisatu kuyasita kisanu tuyanuya kayatu kuyisita kuyatu kuyanuya tuyanu tuyasita kayasi kuyatuya ayanai tuyisi siyu sinumata kiyatu kuyatusi tayanu kuyanusi kayata kayituya sikuyasitushina kikatu kuyisita kisina sinuyata kituyasitusina kayatu kuyasina situsi kayituya sikayu kuyatuna kuyatu kuyasita kikatu tuyasita tutasi tuyatuya tukaya kuyisita tutanu tuyanuya kuyata tusiata kusita tuyanuya kuyatu kusiatu sinatu kuyakaya kaya tayanuyana kaya kuyaya kuyanuyata tayasita tatanusiyakaya kukaya tayekuya kiyanatu namatam. I want you to take a deep breath in now. And slowly start giggling your legs, your toes, your legs, your arms, your fingers, your head. Try to come back to your body, into the right now. Take another deep breath in, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And you shift a lot of blocks too, right? Yeah. So amazing. Yes. You feel tired?
I think I like to believe that when we yawn, we release things that we don't need anymore.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You shift the blocks. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yawning and stuff. So I can feel that you did that for us too, and for the collective. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much for holding space and doing that.
Sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. We are here totally raw, free, and authentic. There's no hiding whatsoever. Thank you for this gift. I would say we leave it at that, unless you have anything you would like to add.
No, thank you everyone for listening. And yep, if you ever need to find me or have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm available for any questions or any advice. I'm happy to help anytime.
I will leave all the contact details from Alina in the description box as well. And as always, guys, just keep shining your light. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time, love you. Lots of love.
Thank you for tuning in to DinsTalk. I hope today's conversation sparked something within you. Remember, you have the power to align with your soul, take bold action, and live a life fueled by passion. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and leave a comment if this episode resonated with you. And as always, do it, never stop. Until next time, keep claiming your fire and your power.